Why will the Republicans get trounced? The reason is because they are not true believers, and they're timid, and they're fearful, and they're used to making deals with the devil. That's why. Obama's going to look over the table at Boehner and at Mitchell and saying, this is a done deal, I'm doing it, if he even talks to them at all. They'll say, look, if you want to craft some legislation for me to sign that gives me what I want in this executive order so that you don't look irrelevant, I'll sign the bill. But I'm doing this with or without you. You people have bottled this up in your various committees on the House side for years. The Senate passed a decent immigration bill that would help assimilate some of these illegal immigrants. You wouldn't let it out. I'm doing it with or without you. Boehner doesn't have the guts to fight him. They've already proven that. Boehner and Mitchell do not have the guts. I mean, let's just go a step further. By the way, some people are saying, well, we'll reverse it in 2 years. No, we won't. Okay? No, we won't. There's not going to be a reversal of this. If you get a Republican president, he's not going to sign an executive order saying that these 4.5 million people who have assimilated at some level legally into the country are now suddenly illegals again. It's not going to happen. And the other thing is, don't believe somebody who says, well, there's a political upside to this. We can really use it to make Obama look bad or to really win the White House in 2016. There's no upside in this, people. It is a massive game changer. Massive. If you get 4.5 million people that have now gone from an illegal status to something that is legal, that puts them on the path towards citizenship, which puts them on the path to voting, and what President Obama is banking on, puts them on the path to being Democrat voters. Okay? That's what this is about. That is what this is about. And one other thing, for those of you who are saying, we got to ship them all back. There will never be, mark my words, all right? Never's a long time. There will never be a time when the United States government orders the removal of 12 million people from our shores. It's not going to happen. Now, let me tell you why it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because we do not have the money and the manpower to make it happen. Have you ever seen a prisoner transfer? Have you ever seen one busload of prisoners be taken from a jail to a courthouse? All right? I've ridden on them. The number of officers that it takes, the number of man hours, the vehicles, just to move one little cadre of prisoners. It's beyond comprehension what it would take to move 12 million illegal people out of this country and the disruption that it would cost us. The man hours of people who should be fighting other crimes. It's just never going to happen. So we are going to have to figure out what we do with these people. All right? Do they just stay as illegals forever? Well, that's another discussion for another day. All right? But we are going to have to deal with it at some point. But what Obama wants is to increase the Democratic Party, and the Republican machine does not have the courage to withstand him. They don't. Well, if people are saying, well, they could defund it. They could authorize no money for it. Maybe. But maybe he'll issue some executive order about some administrative funds, executive funds that he does have some control over. Who knows what he's going to do? But he's not going to back down. And the option that the Republicans have is the one that they are ill-equipped to use. Namely, Mr. President, you have violated your oath of office. You have an oath, you swore an oath to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the United States of America. What you're doing is patently unconstitutional. You don't have the authority under the Constitution to summarily overturn immigration law. Okay? In other words, ready? It's an impeachable offense. It's an impeachable offense. Now, the leadership has already taken, the Republican leadership has already taken impeachment off the table. So what are they going to do? Boo-hoo, President Obama's a bad man. Boo-hoo, President Obama doesn't want to play by the rules. He's a bad man. Really? I mean, what are they going to do? Whine? Unless they are willing to meet fire with fire and to play hardball and uphold their duty to defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States, Obama's already won. He's laughing about this. He's laughing about it. And you know what else he's done right now, which is kind of funny? We'll talk about this a little bit when we come back. He's taken the Keystone Pipeline off of the front page. If you've been watching, you've got Bill Cassidy, U.S. House member, Republican, in a runoff in Louisiana with the current Democrat Senator, Mary Landrieu, okay? And it looks like Cassidy is going to win. You've got Mary Landrieu, who basically got Harry Reid, the current lame duck leader of the Senate, to agree to let out of committee and onto a floor vote for the first time in what, 5-6 years? Harry Reid's been bottling this up, that foul creature from Nevada. She's going to get a vote. Mary Landrieu is doing this to try and save her job, and Harry Reid is allowing it. Okay? So you've got Mary Landrieu, who's now going to get the Senate to vote on the pipeline. The Republicans are going to pass the pipeline. Is Obama going to sign it? I don't know. Probably not. But in the meantime, he's got it off the table. He's got it off the front page. He's going to have people so freaked out about immigration that they're not even focusing on the Keystone Pipeline. Now, if the Republicans had brains and backbone, they would take him on full throttle on both fronts. And if what they needed to do was to introduce articles of impeachment, they've got a majority in both houses. Would they get enough to actually impeach him? That would be for people to see. But there's going to be so much outrage against Obama. If he does this, if he does an executive order to grant some legal status to these immigrants, there will be hell to pay politically. But I don't think that the Republican leaders have the guts to deliver the due bill. I don't think Obama's going to have to pay. All right, I've got to take a quick break. When we come back, actually, you know what? One other thing. We're in, if you just joined us, we are in our mostly constructed new TV studio because we've had to move here to Memphis so that one of our sons could be treated for cancer. We decided we're going to pull up all our stakes in West Virginia and move here, lock, stock, and barrel for good. And thank God for the kindness of people, hard work to get us this far. But we need some help. So if you're somebody who could give a $500 or $1,000 contribution, call this number on your screen, 304-289-3700. Leave your name and phone number, and I personally will call you back, all right? If you can make a $500 or $1,000 or a $2,000 contribution, you want to ask me questions, you want to talk with me, the host of the show, I will make myself available to you. We need to raise the money, and thankfully everything we have so far is debt-free. We need to finish it that way. I'll talk to you in a minute. Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today.